Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. It has been the longest 2 weeks ever, but we're back. But this American Horror Story Freak Show, episode 10. So let's go ahead and get started talking about what has gone on after we have waited for all these days. Okay, so we start right off. We're seeing how Stanley actually manipulated Jimmy into cutting off his hands. He basically used Meep's death because, of course, everybody knows how badly Jimmy felt about Meep dying. He used that to manipulate him and all of that. What he did was he actually gave Jimmy a valve of some chemical to make him like throw up and make him sick, basically, and to take him under. Made a scene there at the jail. Said, oh yeah, I need to get him out of here and take him to the hospital. Takes him out. Here, when we look out, the ambulance driver is one of Stanley's tricks. If you remember back a couple episodes, it's the one who was dressed up like the doctor, sucking him off and all that kind of carrying on. It was him. Jimmy was unconscious. He chopped off his hands and then literally just left him at County Hospital. He had ended up asking this nurse for something for the pain, and she's like, I don't think so. My girlfriend, Myrna, was one of the people at that Tupperware party because, you know, that's still being pinned on him. And she walks off. The next thing we actually see, because she told me, you're going back to jail. So that was, you know, it was what it was. Next thing you know, we see Dale. Dale actually shows up. And Dale actually, Jimmy tells Dale what actually went on. He explains to Jimmy, you know, you can't trust Stanley, this, that, thing, and the other. He continues on. He starts feeding him because he can't do anything. He has no hands. So he's like feeding him and he's reminiscing and he's talking about, you know, how his father, he started telling Jimmy about how his father was. His father had claws and his father was literally just mean. It was like a reverse thing. He was mean to Dale because Dale had normal hands and he always put him down, And he basically was afraid of him. So he's explaining this to Jimmy and he was saying, you know, when you were a baby, I was literally afraid of you because, you know, all that stuff stuck over from then. And he said, I'm 50 years old and I'm just feeding my son for the first time. So that was really sad and everything like that. But again, good because they're bonding and they're getting into a good place. Once we get all our freaks into a good place, then we can, you know, they could fix what's going on in the freak show. So I was like, glad to see that. Cool. So then we move on and we got the damn twins. Now they're actually happy. You see them both writing in their separate journals. Bet is actually happy to be back at the freak show saying, you know, we're where we belong. Dot took and, you know, they're both happy basically. And they come to the conclusion that they don't need to write and their diaries separate anymore. They threw them in the fire. They burned them, and they're basically operating as one woman at this point. But their thing is, oh, and they're both, she undyed her hair blonde, so they're both brunette again. So wait, so the thing is, now their asses is hot. Sex is the thing that they want to do now. So they're just as hot, trying to get rid of their virginity. Child, they tried out this little midget, honey, and he couldn't kiss. Little French midget, honey. They threw his ass out of that goddamn tent. They gave him, child, get on out of here, honey. They threw him out. And then that's where we bring in Neil Patrick Harris. He comes in. He's this traveling salesman, supposedly. He shows up. The twins were absolutely infatuated with him right away. He's living for them, and he keeps having these visions. And you're saying he's really strange. And you're seeing the strangeness of him right away, you know. And it's like, what is really going on with him? So he's going on doing magic tricks and different things like that. Just, anyway. He's strange, very strange, but the twins are infatuated with him. He's infatuated with them, but you don't know why. And they're on a slutty move. So, I said, Lord, this is going to be a mess. Next thing you know, you got Chester. He's auditioning for Elsa. And he was so desperate, you know, but Elsa's so desperate with herself, with her bullshit, that she's like trying to ignore it. But she sees that there's something strange with him. So they go all the way through. He's doing magic tricks, and then he's doing something with some lizards, and Elsa's like, listen, get on, honey. This is a freak show. This is what we do. You aren't a freak. You don't have anything to offer. We're not trying to deal with you, you know. So then he goes and he's like, well, let me do this. He gets this damn dummy out of this box. And she says, oh, you have a dummy. He says, please don't call her a dummy. She doesn't like that. And then he starts, honey, this ventriloquist act, honey. And the little doll's name is Marjorie, honey. She is just as ugly and creepy looking, honey. I said, child, first the clown, then Dandy. Now we got this wooden bitch, honey. So he goes ahead and gets started. Elsa is like, okay, cool. This will work. I don't know why that would work, but that worked for her. And then they see him back at his little tent. And she told me he was going to be opening act. He was so happy. He was all kissing all on her hand and everything. Just weird. Just absolutely weird. He comes in. Paul walked in on him, honey. He's just sitting there chit-chat back and forth, him and that goddamn Marjorie. So he's doing both voices. He's giving very much schizo, honey. Giving you very Norman Bates, honey, at the Bates Motel. And, you know, he's painting his face, getting ready for the show and everything. Turns around, and Paul going to say, yeah, okay, well, you know, he looking at him like, that motherfucker crazy. But he goes on, he tells me, and take it easy on that rouge, honey. You're kind of looking like you part of the Nutcracker. Child, and that's the first time we see Miss Marjorie, honey. And she gives, Nutcracker, honey, because she's very much the mother from Psycho, honey. She's real mean, and she's real curt, and she's real nasty, and she downplays and nitpicks at him. And, yeah. Child, there's going to be some shit with him and her. So, next thing we see, we got Dale comes back to the camp. Dale tells Elsa what's going on with Jimmy. Elsa tells him, you got to get Jimmy out of there. Just no questions asked. You go get Jimmy out of there. The strong woman goes to Dale and tells him, remember you came when you lied and you said you wanted to be an act? We need to be an act. I'm going to help you. I want to help get Jimmy out. Baby, when I tell you they fucked these cops up. She got out in the middle of the road, baby, when they was trying to transport Jimmy back to the jail. She got out in the middle of the road and bashed the front windshield out. Because she's a big-ass man bitch anyway. Bashed that windshield out with a rock, honey, and jumped to the side. And they took the two men and just bashed their heads in, honey. Killed them. And got Jimmy. I don't know where they've put Jimmy. But anyway, so that's that. Next thing, we start to see more about Chester. Chester's a voyeur, okay? So he has some things going on. And it's these lesbians. He's steadily having these visions and going back. It's these two lesbians. You figure out later, one of the lesbians is actually his wife. The other one was this woman. He was gone at war. Both of their husbands were gone at war. And they ended up falling in love. And then, you know, when he came back, they would never let him get in on the sex, but he would sit with that damn Marjorie and watch them. Well, the one that wasn't the wife, she would taunt him and tell him, you know, she would talk shit to him. She really did. She acted like, because her husband actually died in the war. He didn't. It was literally, he had post-traumatic stress. He has a plate in his head and all that. So she would just talk shit and taunt him. And basically had his wife and would make him watch while she fucked his wife. So it was just a mess. And he just got to be she got to be a bit much. She said, I don't mind you sitting there watching, but that damn dummy, you need to get that damn dummy out of here. So baby, you know Miss Marjorie wasn't having it, honey. So Miss Marjorie had told him, you know, she gotta go. She gotta go. So he basically killed the wife and the other lesbian, killed their asses, and he's basically on the run. That's what's going on with him. Shortly thereafter, he ends up, you know, he had made the twins his assistant for his little magic act at the beginning. And you see a little detective walking around, you know, I'm like, what is his point? Here, the detective has been looking out for that. He was hired by Dandy. Dandy hired him to be watching the twins. So Dandy got the whole story about him, the twins, knows that he's on the run, and all of this stuff. Okay, so then, you know, the twins, those nasty bitches, they done threw themselves at Chester. Child, that little scene was a mess. He's kissing them both. You know, he rolling with it. But every time they go to touch the meat, baby, something goes on, and he gets that head get to hurting him, and Marjorie gets to having a fit, and You know, Marjorie basically really is real in his head, crazier than a motherfucker, okay? So goes on. Then they're like, okay, he gets the little squeak in his head. They're like, all right. So they talk to him, they bring him down. Then they start again. You know, they go to start again. Child, soon as she go to touch the meat, honey, it's another issue. He goes back, tells her, wait a minute, goes and gets Marjorie out the box, put Marjorie on his hand, tell the twins. Now they looking at him like, the fuck is really going on? Trying to give you this coochie. What is the problem? Child, so he gets Marjorie on his hand. He says, she relaxes me. Well, baby, as soon as he get Marjorie on his hand, honey, boyfriend was given a rising in the tent, baby. And the twins like, okay, so then they get started. Baby, he laid the twins on the ground and tore their little cuckoo up, okay? Bust their little cherry and then took them on over the other side, baby. I said, this is a mess. Just a mess. And Marjorie was talking shit the whole time, but he was fucking the shit out of the damn twins. They liked it. So, you know, the detective reported all that back to Dandy, and I was like, uh-oh, here goes some shit. Dandy got to crying, honey, talking about they were supposed to be mine. This, that, thing, and the other. A mess. So the next thing you see Elsa, you know there's always something in it for her. This bitch that sold the freak show to him for $1,000, and she's getting ready, you know, to leave. Just horrible. Horrible. Then we got the cops come showing up there for, looking for Jimmy. They tear the place up looking for Jimmy. I don't know where they have Jimmy hiding, but whatever, they're doing all that. But when they come, we look up and the damn Marjorie doll done went missing. So, you know, Nut Boy was really having a fit. The cops are there. They're talking about, they're looking for Jimmy and all this business. He's over there snapping out about motherfucking Marjorie. He's running. Yes, my Marjorie, she needs me, this, that, and the other. And everybody's looking like, are you talking about that damn dummy? So they're seeing his crazy in full bloom in the front of the cops. And the cops was like, sit your ass down before we shoot the shit out of you, you crazy motherfucker. So they're ignoring him. They're trying to find Jimmy. They don't give a fuck about what that damn fool's doing. So they go through all that. They can't find Jimmy. Then you see this fool wandering around the camp looking for Marjorie. Okay? Turns around. And who do you see with that crazy ass motherfucking Dandy over there by the Ferris wheel with this badass fur coat on? I said, oh, I can't stand him. But the coat was bad. And he ends up talking to him, telling him he knows where Marjorie is. Basically, now we got some more fucked up shit because now we got the crazy leading the crazy. Jimmy sits there and plays on him. You know, he absolutely plays on him. Tells him he's on the side, this, that, the other. So now these two fucking crazy asses are going to pair up. And he's asking him, how did you kill him? This, that, and the other. He's like, I know your whole story. How did you kill him? And he told him he basically bludgeoned them both to death. And he's like, I didn't do it. Marjorie did it. Marjorie, you know, she got jealous and she did it. I said, oh my God, honey. So now we got the blind leading the blind. So that's going to be a fucking mess. Last thing that we actually covered in this one. Child, Dale goes into his tent. He's getting a drink. Lights come on. Desiree is there. Desiree and Esmeralda then came back, baby, because you remember they had gone out to the museum. Oh, so Esmeralda then went and got Elsa, takes Elsa over to the tent. They done stole Mon Petit's body in the thing, and I guess they probably got Jimmy's claws too, but they just showed her showing Elsa Mon Petit. Well, Elsa, you know, fucked Elsa up because I told you before, Mon Petit is the only thing I believe that Elsa has actually ever really loved. So that was that. Dale and Desiree are having a conversation, and he basically finally breaks down, and she says, no, you tell me what you did. And he told her about how he just killed the two cops and all that. She said, no, you killed one of your own. You tell me what you did. You tell me. So he goes in and he tells her, you know, he was breaking down. He told her, I killed Mon Petit. And she said, how? She had him at gunpoint and everything. And she says, how did you do it? How did you kill her? And he's like sitting there trying to get it out. Then he says, I smothered her. Baby, the next thing you know, you hear, bam, honey. And he got a big hole right through his head, baby. And when he falls on the ground, baby, Miss Elsa was standing behind him, honey, with her gun. And she said, that's all I needed to know. Tore his ass down. I said, okay. So that's where we end it. Child, you know what? I love this goddamn program. And the thing, child, they don't give a fuck about killing people. They will kill up some motherfuckers. You hear me? Anyway, so it was worth the 2 weeks wait. It really, really was. And it's going to get even better next week. I just love it. All right, guys, that's it. 15 minutes. All right. You can thumbs up or thumbs down the video. You guys know how that works. And I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place. I love this show. All right, guys. Bye and Happy New Year.